All right, folks, here we go. Clean Racing League here tonight, and we are crowning a champ. We're out here in the desert of Phoenix. Well, they picked a doozy of a track to get this thing done at, but we got 4 drivers lining up here, and we're going to get into that here in just a second. But this has been a heck of a season, Caleb, and it all comes down here tonight that 4 drivers have a shot to win a championship.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a close one between all 4 drivers. You know, all 4 drivers obviously winners in the series this season. You know, Rob has 3, Lane has 3, and then Josh and Matt have 1 apiece. But right now Rob's sitting second. You know, he's a tenth faster than the next closest championship driver. That may not mean much now, you know, before, you know, going into the race, you know, as the long run progresses, but we might see a few cautions here and there, so that could change some things. You know, we're just very excited to see how the race is going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, it's Phoenix, and, you know, we were talking earlier about it. Phoenix is just one of these tracks where you just never know what you're going to get. It's, man, you could come out here and have the greatest race in the world, or you can come out here and have a junk fest. It's a tricky style track. They're going kind of a little slick out here, and it's a little bit unforgiving. Right now, out of the 4, Rob Sherwood's going to start the highest. Now, Ethan Brown going to take that top spot, though, and, hey, he's going to, if he can't put it in victory lane, because we got some guys out here that definitely, you know, want to cap off this season with a win going into next season here. with some good momentum. I mean, you got Jeremy Moy right there, Peterson, Kenny, Jamie Horn, who has definitely been on top, pretty strong man this season himself. I know Mom's probably out there going to be watching Sandra. So, but I mean, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on the four there. Sherwood, Dyer, Lane and Joshua. As right now you got Sherwood starting second. Lane, he's going to be there in sixth. Got Dyer, he's back in 10th, and then looks like an Altice, he's there in 9th. So they're all in the top 10 starting. We'll just have to see where they finish.
Yeah, and Nathan Brown, 2 straight pole positions. Last week at Auto Club, this week at Phoenix. Pace truck's pulling off now, but he was talking about he hadn't had a pole in 3 years. Now it's just pulled 2 back to back. So it's surely, I mean, it's just how it is. So.
Well, as we get set to go green flag here, final time here tonight for the season here at the Clean Racing League. Check them out at cleanracingleague.com. Brown's going to bring them off to the start. As green flag flies here in the desert. As of last week, we know Sherwood's definitely fast, but Altice probably is the most consistent out of the bunch. Matt, I'm going to say he's kind of the dark horse here, and Lane, he's just all blazing quick. But mentality-wise, you just have to finish in front of all those guys. You don't have to win the race, and the big picture is championship, and that's kind of what you want to see there at the end. What's up, Sandra? How you doing?
Yeah, this style of racing, like it's a very it's not called the Clean Racing League for nothing. You just have to finish, like you said, in front of the other 3 guys that you're racing. You can finish 3rd and still win the championship. It's just what this style of racing is.
And I like it. I mean, I like it that way because I think NASCAR. We've talked in real life. Unfortunately, I've watched NASCAR since back in the '80s. You can almost say who's going to win the final race of the season. It's going to be one of the final 4. I mean, you can be a betting man and pretty much do it that way. And it's unfortunate because it just feels like it's set up that way. As it used to be, anybody could win it at the end. So, like what you're saying there, hey, if you can win, win. But if not, think about that big picture. I mean, like right here, got a good battle going on. You got, Lane and Peterson. And I like it. Peterson right there's got a fast truck. And it's not going to sit and just roll over. Oh, yeah, you might be running a championship, but I'm out here running to win a race. If I can keep pace with you, great. And this is a tricky track. I mean, it's Phoenix.
Yeah, and right now, I think everyone's still trying to figure out how the truck is handling. They're battling each other, but Lane also knows that he doesn't want to junk his truck on lap 5. He's still got 115 laps to try to win the championship. So I think he's still trying to figure out what he can and can't do with the truck. And Josh is really gaining time with Evan. He's really joined the fight. You can put a blanket on all 4 of those guys right there.
Well, Josh is just one of those. Yeah, I'm not going to say he's not fast. Very dead on consistent. He's a very good long style driver, long run style driver. Just dead consistent. You think he's maybe out of it, and the next thing you know, he's right there at the end, and you're going, where'd he come from? And this track here, I think, is unlike last week. This track is perfectly, it sets up for that. Last week, obviously, is more track position oriented. You had to be a little more aggressive. Here, you can, play that conservative, driving style a little bit and have, I think, success. I mean, right now, you see Lane struggling a little bit.
He's just trying to find a way around. He's trying to figure out where Zach's not going to go, and he's trying. You see him go high and try to arc it down low. He's trying to find any clean track he can. But with a track like this, especially with the dog leg being open, you just cut it down to the inside. But you do have to be careful because especially with the new damage model on the truck, it could hurt the skirt of the truck. And
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but like you can't repair that, especially with the new iRacing update. It used to be that did nothing, but now it does something. So just something these drivers have to keep in mind as the race progresses.
And even in real life, you see some actually take the dog leg, some actually don't. And really used to the old configuration of this track when you went into the dog leg actually was an advantage. Now, like you just said, I don't think it's really so much of an advantage like it used to be. I mean, you could, like I say, you can go around the track or you can dive down off in there. But once you dive down in there, like you said, it upsets the truck. You got to come back up the track, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not like what it used to be, where you'd see them 5 wide going off down in that thing, and so forth, which was wild. But there he goes. He's side by side with him, but it's just a tough place to pass. Now he just has to fall back in line. That's typical Phoenix right there. You're going to see him, one by one, but. Man, look at Altice. I told you, keep an eye on him.
I say they're side by side now.
He's consistent. He knows how to save those tires. I'd say out of the 4, he's probably, again, don't want to take anything away from any of them, but out of the 4, I think he's one of the best to be able to save it. I mean, and you have to look at that because, like what you said, you brought up the statistic. He's won 1 race, but he's had so many podiums. And that old saying, hey, look, unless you're winning every race of the season, wins are great, but consistency wins championships.
Yeah. Speaking of, being pretty consistent, Nate qualified on pole and he's led every single lap of this race so far. He's got a 5-10th lead at the moment. I started to say something about Nathan Brown, and he had a 7/10 lead, and now it's dropped down to 5. So I hope he didn't burn his stuff up too quick. But Rob is one of those drivers. Rob Sherwood is one of those drivers where if you need someone to save tire, like he is really good at it. As Josh Altus gets loose off the corner there. Josh is trying to find a way to get around.
It's not easy. Not easy to pass here.
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's also so. Zachary Peterson is Josh's teammate. So I'm not.
Oh, Zach got tight there.
Yeah, I don't know if. I know. Sometimes you have teammates and everything, and you'll make a request because I've done it before. It's like, hey, could you let me go here, and then you'll pay it back at some point.
Sure.
But
teammates are going to help teammates. That's basically what it is there. And again, if Lane was way faster, he would already done blew right by Peterson no matter what. It's just a testament of what this track is. I mean, how tough it is to pass. And obviously, you don't want to take anything away from Zach. I mean, hey, he's a fast driver. He's been in the league for quite some time. Again, it's just one of these tracks. Now, I know as Lane probably sits here side by side, he's probably going, man, come on, give me a break. That takes me back to what I was saying before. Look, if you want to win, we got a battle for the lead, by the way. Rob's going to try to take that one. He takes that.
I would say we have a pass for the lead. Number 93, Rob Sherwood, championship leader at the moment. Look at that.
He's going to hang on to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get back here to what was said. But anyways, product of the track, and I know right now Lane's probably like being frustrated. To me, this is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Peterson's not just rolling over. He's giving him a challenge. I'm as fast as you are. I'm not going to wreck you, but I'm not going to make it easy. Lane's eventually going to get around him, and I think he's finally got around him. But you saw how long it took him to do it. And that's just a perfect example of what I was talking about. Is, hey, don't make it easy. But if you're that much faster, you'll eventually make it around me. And you just saw that Lane wheel. So that's what I like to see, racing-wise and so forth and so on out here on the track. Although I just don't, unless Lane's just holding back a little bit. You know, we'll see as the race goes on. It's a long race. I mean, got time. Don't want to burn everything up yet. Matt,
Oh, no.
right here in eighth. Yeah, Matt's just hanging on.
Well, Matt caught the back half. Matt Dyer caught the back half of that group that was fighting. So, like, you know, he's got Edmund Kennedy in front of him. He's got Josh Altus in front of him. And then in front of him, he's got Lane and Zach. So, you know, all three, with the exception of Rob, all three championship, like, contenders, with the exception of Rob and the lead, they're all clustered right there.
Oh, yeah.
From 4th to 8th. And, you know, this is only benefiting Rob Sherwood in the 93. Given we don't have a caution, we have a caution that's could throw everything upside down. And, you know, we very well may see, you know, Matt go to lead. You know, it's just how it is.
The world is Keeney in this week. I don't know what he's got on that truck. Equilibrium. Okay. Well, let's hope he don't lose it and go spinning.
Yeah, I like the colors.
Yeah, colors, man. Psychedelic out there. Got that transparent style chrome-looking number on the side. Like, well, got Fred back out here too. The old Fred. I like him. His Nintendo machine. Usually he's got a food truck or something out here, but I like old Fred, man. Fred's a good guy, Garcia.
See, I was just before we started broadcasting, I was talking about playing my Nintendo Switch. See, I like that car.
Yeah.
That's truck of the race right there. Paint scheme.
Oh, he got happy, man. We was talking about it, see, we talking about he almost lost it. But that's slick out here. I know Mom's out there, Sandra. She's a regular. She comes out here and watches Jamie. Jamie's been up and down all season. He's got, you know, a couple wins here this past season. Right here in 11th place spot, kind of falling back about four spots here. So some guys got the feel of this track, some don't. Let's see, Brown still holding on that second. Jeremy Moyer, he's right there, hanging on to third. The lap times last time. You've got 29.99. Pretty much everybody's right there on that 29 to 30. So within a tenth and a half of the field.
Lane Holzler and Rob Sherwood are practically running identical lap times.
Yeah.
And all Rob has to do is just settle in, keep his head down, and he'll be fine. Which I have no doubt in my mind he'll be able to do. I've raced with him for years. You know, I've seen what he can do on the track. I've had to race against him. As frustrating as it can be. But, you know, he knows how to get this stuff done. He knows how to win races. I mean, so does Lane. You know, Lane was faster than him that lap, by a tenth.
Yeah. Well, basically, the time-wise, you know, you can look at times and say, tell pretty much if a guy's coming through the field or how it's going to play out. And right now, I mean, obviously you got to factor in, you know, dirty air, passing a car, et cetera, et cetera. But being within a tenth or less, you're not seeing anybody coming through the field like gangbusters here. Yeah, over time they will, but it's going to take time. I mean, just like that battle there with Lane and Peterson, it took some time. I mean, obviously Altice ran the same lap times that Peterson did, but Sherwood ran a 09.12. I mean, so that just tells you right now. I mean, there's really nobody now right now that's really kind of like, yeah, I'm just dominating the field here.
You know, what could really shake up the race? Yeah, well, it's a really hot track right now. Like I ran some practice laps with everyone earlier, and I think the track temp was up to 130, and you were just sliding everywhere. Like especially coming off of turn 2, where they're at right now. 2, and then you get into the throttle where Altus is right now, and it just wants to slide up the track. Oh, as he hits the wall.
And this is where, tire saving, being able to manage. I mean, you're going to see these guys, you have to change up a little bit of your driving style when it's hot like that. Don't want to go out here, man, and just pedal to the metal, or you will burn your stuff up. I mean, obviously Sherwood, right now out front, but he's got the clean air. We'll see if he falls off any. You have to be a special driver. I've seen it time and time. But you've got to be a very, very special driver to be out front and control that truck to where you don't burn your tires up. See some drivers do it. I think we was talking about that last week. Guys get out front, they lead a lot, and then they get marred back in traffic, or they get back in around 3rd, 4th, 5th place spot, and then they're not able to make it back to the front. They're not able to make it around cars because they don't know what the truck's able to do at that point. It reacts differently. Maybe not so much on this track to where, because you can pass. Auto Club's way different, but we'll have to see what happens with Rob if he gets marred back in traffic, like back where Lane is or back where Altice is and all that. So can he pass through the field here on this track?
Just before we go back into that, the current track temp they're running at right now is 143 degrees Fahrenheit. It is slick out there.
It's warm.
It's rough. I wouldn't want to be racing right now.
Well, it's a road course term. You're gonna love this one because it's slow in, fast off. Back to turn up. What you do on road races a lot of times, back that turn up, and that's what you got to do here. You can't just go driving it all down in that turn, or you're going to lose it, or step back on that gas coming off. You want that truck to be pointed as straight as possible before you get back heavily on the gas, and you know that by road racing because they tell you make sure when you're coming out of the turn, make sure that car's pointing straight as it can. You get back on the gas. So when it's hot like that, that's kind of how you have to race it. We've got a pretty good race going on back here around 6th place spot though. And now's the time when you're going to start seeing guys that are better managing tires than others. You'll start seeing them creep to the front. You see Peterson right here probably has burned up a lot of his tires by racing hard early on, starting to fall off the pace. Starting to see Altice kind of slowly but surely creep to the front here. Matt's starting to come up a little bit too. Are you still going to see a guy, man, just all of a sudden just start passing guys one by one, left and right? No. But like I say, you'll start seeing them slowly but surely creep to the front, and that's guys that are better on long run.
Right now, out of the 4 championship drivers, Rob Sherwood, which is our leader at the current point, is still rattling off quick lap times, 0.2 faster than the next closest person. And he just did it again.
And he could be seeing what his truck's doing. He could have the strategy, all right, let me see what my truck will do flat out right now. And then the next run, kind of be a little conservative. We've seen that before.
Oh yeah, one thing Rob Sherwood does is at the beginning of the race, he takes it easy, and then he lets everyone go up there, burn their stuff, and then he just goes. And when he goes, something like what's happening right now happens, where he's 3.5 seconds in front of the next closest person in second.
But now he's flipped the switch and done it different. Now he's like, well, let me see what our truck will do, and then maybe he'll do the other part. Now let me see what it'll do conservative. I know what it'll do fast, and I'm blowing the doors off because, like you said, he ran a 36 to a 59, guys behind him. Oh, got a car around. Mickey Hughes. And the Chip Ahoy machine. Oh, gonna make somebody happy. I like. No caution, so I can watch what happened to him.
So it was just a one truck spin. I don't think they'd throw a caution for that.
Well, iRacing's got that wild algorithm, I guess is what they're gonna call it. You get so far off the track. I mean, the short tracks are, oh Lord, he just lost it coming off the turn. Boom!
Ooh.
Crunches the front end just a little bit.
Oh, and the back.
Yeah, it did.
It is,
Ouch. He's gonna go in. Good looking truck. I mean, makes you hungry looking at it. Like cookies. You know, come from a fat guy, you know.
I
ain't ashamed.
believe it. I would say Chips Ahoy are amazing, especially with milk. At like 10 p.m. at night. Jacob Grant has indicated he's pitting, which is a little early. Oh, a piece just flew off of Justin Carey's car or truck. I don't know what
I see that.
what happened. Yeah, no, it happened when Jacob was pitting. But yeah, no, Jacob said it could have been a visual glitch from my screen, but I seen it out of the corner of my eye.
Let's go back.
Yeah, no, there's nothing there. That's
Oh, no, there it is. He had contact. Him and Peterson. Right there it is.
oh yeah, that'll do it to you. Oh, you see it right there at the
Yep.
front.
Yep, he had contact side by side. I saw it right there, and then well, that definitely will. Might have effect on him.
Well, it looks like he hit him at the right front. Zachary Peterson did. So it could cause some steering alignment issues, which could affect the way the truck turns. We are about to get into green flag pit stops, and it seems like a lot of people are already pitting early. It seems like they're going to turn into a two stop. Sorry, because the fuel numbers I got in the practice session before was anywhere from lap 50 to lap 56, 60 if you're saving. But I don't think nobody wants to go 60
Ghost.
on a set.
Ghost. If I had to pick, Ghost is going to be the one that goes the longest. For some reason, he loves stretching fuel.
Yeah,
Brad?
but if he can make it work, then
Oh yeah.
And-
I mean, the problem with it is was what we saw last week with it is, and I think Peterson was the one who did last week, but was you need that caution sometimes to make it work too, and we'll have to see. I mean, if he can get far enough out, yeah. I'm just saying, you were talking about anybody that might stretch it. Ghost comes to mind. Right now he's back in 10th. Got a good gold looking machine there, but he's just one that week in and week out, and you learn. You can sit up here and watch these drivers and say, look, I know what this guy does. I look at his kind of tendencies week in and week out.
got a caution.
Caution.
I don't see.
Oh, right there it is.
Oh,
Wow, that's Jacob Grant. Oh. Who's that? Oh, Turner. Lord of mercy. Find it in a minute. I'll get the right
There we
truck
go.
here.
I'll say I'm on pit road right now. Looking to
There it
see
is.
who's
Weimer.
doing what.
Wait, watch. Have help.
Oh,
Other. Or was he loose before he had help? Nope, he had a little help. Just slight tap and then. Oh, there you go.
See, and those are the cautions like that should not have been a caution. He had it
Yeah, I'm
saved.
with you. That's no.
And the advents of the series had nothing to do with that. That is iRacing.
That's their great algorithm, man. I don't know about you, Caleb, but I have done short tracks before. To where this is no lie, there has been 3 or 4 cars in the middle of the track, and they did not throw the caution until almost a lap. And I'm sitting there going, really? And then I've seen some that they never throw it, and I'm like, what in the world? You know what? Wow, that's the way I look at it. Lane's coming on pit road, gonna make that pit stop. Sherwood's already made his at lap 46. Brown came in with him. As you've got Ghost now, you know, we were talking about him coming in, but he's coming in right now, pit road. So, going to cycle back around. It's going to be Sherwood out front, Brown there in second, Altice third. Dyer going to come up in the 4th place. As he pitted, all those guys pitted in lap 46. Kenny there in 5th, Peterson 6th. Horn up to 7th. Like Hoosler's going to come out here in 8th place along with Stevenson in 9th, and Ghost going around the top 10. Been a good solid race so far as winner caution. Final race here of the season. Clean Racing League. Definitely check out cleanracingleague.com. And Caleb, it's in the name. It's clean racing. We don't see a lot of cautions. I mean, obviously this here, it's Phoenix. I've seen leagues, man, to be the best of the best, worst of the worst. But this track sometimes be like, you know, I don't care. You know, I could either be a good track or I can be a bad track.
Yeah, I mean it's super slick, and you know, you could definitely tell some of these drivers were having a handful, or you know, having a very tough time trying to keep the truck underneath them, especially coming off the corners. But you know, one thing I will say before we go back green, you know, we've had very good season this season with season 20, and you know, season 21 starts on July 29th. You know, same time, 8:30 Eastern. You know, and it's gonna be with you again.
Yeah.
So pretty excited. As the Pace truck, it's gonna be at Daytona as well.
So plate track racing, anybody wins.
I would say that's going to be very fun to commentate. I've never commentated a plate race, so it's going to be very fun. Very interested to see what Rob does. Jumps to start really heavy. He's going to try to get way in front of Josh Altus here. The moment Josh can get in front of him, Josh is going to have to go. I don't think if Josh doesn't get in front of him now, he won't get in front of him later. And
well, remember what I was talking about earlier? Sherwood knows what his truck will do. I mean, just flat out fast. Now does he go, okay, let me see what it'll do kind of conservative? Because, you know, Altice knows what he can do on a long run. But now does he go like what you said? Okay, let me see what I can do flat out. You know, do they flip the script? Do you see right behind him got a good race going on? We got Brown, Dyer, Peterson. And these guys are going at it here. And Hoosler, man, right in that mix. You know, I know he would probably like to be around them. But, again, those guys, you know, I got to bring it up. Those guys got just as much right to be on that track racing hard like that. And I know Lane's probably going, well, y'all just need to move out of the way, you know. That ain't how it works.
Oh, another caution out.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure if Josh got the pass off in time. He did make a move into the dog leg.
Stevenson. Right there, old Stevenson, see what happens. He's in that 90 truck. Side by side with the D-Walt. A little bit. Oh, he just drove it in hard, man. That was just... Ooh. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier about not driving it in hard. Just be really, really, you know, back to turn up. That is total opposite of what we were talking about earlier. That was dive bombing the turn. That wasn't backing it up.
and the five of Chris Smith just, I mean, hit him side, like, you know, head on. I don't know how much damage that's going to cause the 5 truck. But
Yeah.
you think we
It
can get like an
looks
onboard?
kind of clean. Looks. Have the nose view. That one. It doesn't look from here. It doesn't look hurt, but again, that doesn't mean it's not hurt. iRacing's kind of wild, but I mean, from here it looks relatively straight, but just don't know.
So I'm a little interested here. So Matt Dyer and Josh Altus, two of the championship contenders, have gone down pit road.
That means they could
I don't-
probably go one more stop.
Yes, but everyone's got to go one more stop. So maybe they can push it a little bit longer now. I don't know if they're getting another set of tires. I don't.
2 tires. Think about that, because if we have a caution late, I mean, you always got to bring that 2-tire conversation up.
So-
Just because if they have a caution, I mean, I see what now Altice might be doing. Fuel, because he's coming back down
Yeah.
to top it off. Okay.
Yeah, he just had a 5.12 second stop, so he took fuel. Matt took tires. Matt Dyer took tires. So I think his game plan now is he's got to go. But
Yeah.
one thing with Matt Dyer, if we have a whole bunch of cautions, he's kind of on a time constraint right now. So like if it doesn't, there's a chance he might not even make the end of the race.
Yeah.
So
Well, Altice is playing the long game with this strategy here. That's and he's also probably looking at there's going to be another caution. Probably my feeling. You know, a lot of times sometimes I can see and get into how a race feels. Like last week, we you kind of felt like that wasn't going to be a caution fest style race. Here again, can be different. I mean, we've already just had 2 very slick, like you said. So with that, being the clean racing league, I've said this a couple times, Caleb, coming in here, me personally, the first mentality I would have would be, we're going to go green to green. Okay. Because a lot of races here are green flag, but that might change throughout the race. And, as the race goes on, and the only thing I can say why Altice is taking this pit like he is he's playing the long game with cautions, because cautions will benefit him doing this, and it will benefit him if they fall right, tire wise and fuel wise, but they have to fall right too. That's another thing. That's the only reason I could see why he would do this, is he just feels like there's going to be maybe 1 or 2 more cautions, or he's hoping there is, and it's going to benefit him pit strategy wise, get him off cycle with some of the other guys, maybe get him out front, because if he catches a caution right, they pit, and then if he gets the long green flag run and so forth, I don't know. It strategies. I've never been very good on strategies. I just watched these. Man, Altice's back on pit road again. Yeah, he's playing that long range game.
yeah. Now that last pit stop, he took tires. So I think the first time he went down, he took fuel, topped off. So he went down again, took tires. They delayed the green. He went down again, and 4.80. He took fuel again. So I think he. Now this could be a stretch, and
Can he go all the way?
He can go all the way. He's going to have to save. But from
Now the
this point
problem with
on,
that strategy is if then the cautions could screw that strategy up. He
yes.
needs it to go green from here on if he's going with that strat. If we have a couple more cautions, then that strategy is out. I don't know, man. Sometimes I know he's playing a long game, but how it works out is going to be unique. We go back green. Rob definitely is trying to say, look, I just want to stay out front. That's the safest place I can be. Obviously, if I'm out front. Here comes Lane, though. He finally maybe is going to blow past Peterson, and this is what he needs to do. He needs to put that truck up front and say, okay, Rob, I don't want you to get too comfortable up there.
Yeah, and same thing applies for Lane Holsler as it does for Josh Altus. If he's gonna go, he's got to go now. Rob, albeit I think Rob is saving, but I also think Rob knows that these guys can't get in front of him because what if the
no
tires
way Rob's saving, man, that first run.
I think he was saving that first run.
Nah, there ain't no way. As fast as he was.
Look, oh, we got another caution.
Oh man, just curious. Let's go and see what happened here. Oh, multiple cars. I ain't got my timing right on play. It looks like one down here, and this is what we was talking about, coming up from the dog leg, and oh, he got a little bit in the horn, and the 90 got in the back, nowhere to go, and they all just kind of spun. Good save on the two trucks there. Wow. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you. At first run, I don't think he was saving. He was just blowing the wheels off everybody. Now he might be saving, which irrelevant right now. I mean, pitting. And Sherwood don't pit. So, what do you think about this call?
I think he's at the point now to where he knows he's got to make another pit stop. No matter what, he's got to make another pit stop. And there's also a chance we might see another caution.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So cautions breed cautions.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about Rob, I had interviewed all of the drivers, this morning, just to get their thoughts, the championship drivers, to get their thoughts on like how they were feeling going into the race. And Rob said that winning an iRacing League championship was a goal of his, and that he's been thinking about this race in particular for the past 2 months, because he knew he'd end up here. So that mentality, knowing he was going to be here, I think is helping him in how well he's doing at the moment.
Oh yeah, you can't take nothing away from him. He's a fast driver. I mean, that's Rob. I'm crossing my fingers for him though, because I've seen him in this position so many times, and then and again he's not pitted. Everybody else has. So what I'm hoping doesn't happen to him, and you've raced long enough to see it, is even though he's out front, what could happen is when he does pit, he could almost end up being back around 4th, 5th place spot. Then we're going to see, okay, can I come back through the field? Can I get back to that front? We know Lane can. We know Altice can. Dyer sitting there in 4th. I think he can. The one question mark, and I know what you're going to say. Well, Rob, man, he's a fast guy no matter what. Yeah, he is. Not taking anything away. But does he know what that truck's going to do on this slick track? And can he get through the field? That I've seen that happen, and I hope this pit stop strategy here doesn't mess him up. He's not too bad off. What he's about, 10 laps? 10 laps off everybody else.
So Matt Dyer, Lane Holsler, and Josh Altus have all have fresh tires and have topped off on fuel.
Dyer has the newest. Well, actually, they topped off fuel. I don't know. Did they put tires on those pit stops? Lap 60, did Dyer? Because it's showing the last stop he did was only 4 seconds.
No,
imagine he did.
The last caution that came out, he took tires.
Okay.
So he still has relatively fresh, because we were like 2 laps.
Right.
I believe that if we have one more caution, Rob will go down and he'll take tires.
Yeah.
Pace trucks off.
Pace trucks off. We're going.
I always hated this track because, especially when I was the leader, because the pace truck would go off, and I would have to pretty much pace the field for like half the track, and
It's a new config.
yeah, I hated it.
Here we go. Sherwood's there. He gets a good jump, and I mean that's what he needs to do, because now you're going to see where we talk about, does tires matter? Tires matter. Yeah, with a 10-lap different set of tires, they will matter now over a course of time. So Sherwood's going to have to try to get as far out, because you see right there, Altice obviously has newer tires, and he cleared Peterson like nothing. But here comes Dyer. Dyer's the one I really want to be interested to see if he can get around Peterson real quick with those newer set of tires. And it also tells you a lot too. Remember what I was saying before? I've been fooled many a times thinking, you know what, the guy's got newer tires. He's got 4 tires. He's just going to go blowing by that guy. Guess what? It takes him 5 or 7 laps to get around the dude on old tires. And I'm going, how's that work? Again, we go back to that tire model stuff again. I mean, just like here, you see Dyer. He's on the inside. Yeah, he's going to make it around Peterson. But look how long it takes him to make it around him. And that comes down to, we come down to like a 10-lap shootout or something. Look at Lane. Look at Lane.
So we're at a position now where the top the championship 4 are now sitting top 4.
Right.
And the guy in the lead, Rob Sherwood, is on the oldest tires.
Yeah.
Can he hold off? Can he hold off the charging three trucks that are behind him?
I think Altice will eventually catch him and go by him. You can see it. I think he'll be careful doing it. Now, I don't know about Lane. Lane's on the move here. Lane's one of them like, look, I need to see what I can go. I got to go. And he's right here battling back here with Dyer. You want to see it, but you can already see Altice. He's already running down Sherwood. So that tells you right there what a 10-lap newer tires will do to a guy, up front. Obviously, does Joshua, does he push the envelope? Now, I think Lane will if he gets up higher. I think Lane's going to be like, all right, look, Josh, you might want to ride behind him for a while. I'm not. I'm taking the lead.
And, now Jacob Grant's in the mix. He's taking a spot away from Matt Dyer. So, how does Jacob, and this goes back to what you were saying earlier, you're not going to sit back and,
Sure.
just let these guys go.
He's on the newer tires too. Grant is. Grant's on the same as those guys. So yeah. Josh needs to right now, and I know he doesn't want to get up there and really push the envelope, but he really needs to. Now again, between him and Lane's driving that truck. I mean, he just came out of the turn on sideways. The Lane is definitely using those tires to his advantage right now to see what he's got. And to see, can he catch? And obviously you got Grant back there too. Grant wants to win this race. I don't blame him. He's like, look, guys, I get it. Y'all want a championship. But he's just as fast as they are. Gets up here. I'm gonna play into it. He sure would go up the track just a little bit. The Lane's catching him. Be interesting to see what he does when he gets there. Interesting to see what Grant does too. Grant's up there, man. Oh, Grant's fast. Grant just missed the chase. Got knocked out early.
Yeah, he was having some issues. I guess in the simulator world you can call it mechanical issues.
Yeah.
But he was having some internet issues, so it kind of eliminated from championship contention. Who knows if he would have been in this race contending or not.
Hey, here's something interesting right here, Caleb. You see Lane, he's right here on the inside of Altice. What does Joshua do? I mean, obviously Sherwood loves them guys battling back there because it only helps him. Lane, at this point, would love to get around Josh or push Josh to where he pushes him up there to Sherwood. All right, look, if you're just going to ride behind Rob, I'm not going to let you. This is kind of, look, throw you off your game plan. I'm fast. I want to go. And I think Lane wants to lead this race. I think he wants to be out front.
Yeah, and, but I also, I'd interviewed Lane earlier, and, he said Phoenix had...
Rob got loose. Yeah, those tires are starting to eat away at Rob now. Go ahead, what you saying? My bad. Let's get
Oh
it
no,
sight up front.
yeah, no, I'm watching it. Like, they're side by side. But you know, I was
now Sherwood's loving it. I mean, even though Sherwood's tires are probably going away, he's loving what he's seeing because it's eating their tires away too behind him. So any advantage they might have eventually might go away. You can see though Sherwood's starting to struggle a little bit. I mean, obviously it's hot. You know, he's on old tires. He's got to be careful. I mean, you can be the best driver in the world. You still got to be careful. But that's what he didn't want to see. Probably his lane be able to make it around. Josh. Ow. Oh, got him back a little bit. That's a good race. This is what I want to see. I want to see these guys get up here and race. Don't hold hands.
And I'll say, and you know, statistically, if we're looking at the stat books, Lane is the favorite going into the race, and
True.
You know,
yeah.
he is the only past winner at this track. You know, and we haven't had very many races here. We've had 8 races here, have 20 seasons. So I mean, you know, it's like half the seasons. But he's a one-time winner at the track, but he's also chasing his 3rd championship. So like he knows what it's like. He knows what it's like to win this, especially in this league.
Our top 4 are well, I think has Altice won a championship here?
Yeah, he won 2 seasons ago.
That's what I was saying. So the top 4 are all championship drivers. I mean, don't take anything away from Grant. He is a past champ here in the truck series. And so he knows how to race and knows. I mean, you can see him right there. He's just as fast. I think the reason why Lane hasn't got up there on Sherwood is he probably used a little bit of those tires up trying to get there. And again, takes us back to this is a tough place to pass. You know, you're not going to see somebody just, unless there's just that big of a gap between tires, old tires and new tires, you're not going to see anybody just blow through the field. If everybody's kind of equal set of tires, no, but I think Lane probably used a little bit up trying to get around Josh.
Yeah,
He goes back here. I can't see him. He's going to sneak up here and win.
I mean, if it comes down to fuel mileage, yeah, probably.
God, that guy, I've seen him do some wild stuff when it comes to fuel strategy. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, scratching my head, like, bro, does he? I mean, it's almost like what they said about Joey Logano. This past race, I didn't watch the race. I watched the highlights of it. I couldn't believe they had that many overtimes in a professional race, but hey, it is what it is. But they said he stretched that fuel. Somebody did the calculations. It was kind of funny because somebody said, oh yeah, they only got an 18-gallon cell. Wrong, they got 20-gallon cells. So, you know, his math was off to begin with when he said it. And if you take the math that he did with the 18, and then if you add the 20 into it, yeah, it made sense. Obviously, he would have had to still stretch that fuel out. But, I mean, you know, yeah, Ghost is good. He knows how to do it. He definitely, somehow, makes it work.
You know, Rob Rob Sherwood is driving a very good race right now, and you know, especially keeping 15 lap fresher tires behind him. You know, because I
All
don't,
fairness, I got to say Lane used a lot now.
Oh yeah, no, and look, they know that, you know, Rob Sherwood in the 93 is class of the field right now. He is led from like lap 20 to now. We have seen no
I
other
just
truck
fear if Rob gets in traffic, what's going to happen. That's my only concern right now. Is can he come from 4th, 5th place and get back to the lead if that happens? And on the pit strategy he's on, that could happen unless we get a caution.
You know, I think they're all going to have to pit. I do not think that
But
any
they'll
of
pit
them
at
gets
different
to-
times. That's what I'm getting at. See, Lane's not going to pit the same time Rob is, so that's going to put Rob somewhere in the pack if it falls right. I mean, it's got to fall
Well,
right. You know, it's got to fall right.
So I think the only one that is like actually saving fuel to make to the end, lap 120, is Matt Dyer. And I'm saying this because he's in fifth. He's back there, you know.
He's riding by
He
himself.
yeah, he is 3
He's not
seconds
that far
back.
off the pace. He ran a 09 to their 03, 06. I mean, he's running comparable lap times to the top three. I mean, look, all three of those guys up there. That was a 03, 06, 03. I mean, that's just close.
We got a battle for second here.
Yeah,
This is exactly what Rob needs to see or wants to see in his mirror. You know.
Well, that's a perfect example of what was talking about right here, Caleb. And this is the thing that you can see. And I know a lot of people go, well, Joe, man, how do you know? You watch races so much, you see what's going to happen. That right there, that pass, was basically Lane used those tires up to try to get up there to the front and battle so hard. Now they're falling off. He pushed it. Altice, though, has saved, and now you're starting to see a long run come in. Same with Rob. I mean, Rob loving seeing that battle behind him and so forth. So, yeah, you're going to see, unfortunately, as good as Lane is, if you don't have the tires under you, guess what? Don't work.
I think we're gonna see the 94 of Josh Altus. He had a big wiggle coming off the turn 2 there.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see him catch the 93 of Rob Sherwood, but I don't think he's gonna make anything.
No.
I don't think he's gonna be able to make anything happen, just off of what we've seen with Lane.
But does he
Lane,
want to? See, let's bring this question up here too, Caleb. Yeah, okay, I can catch him. So if I can catch him, and I know this is kind of counterintuitive, because they always say, you know, catch and pass is two different things. But if you can catch him, then that means maybe you probably can pass him. But does he want to? Maybe just ride behind him. Sure, Sherwood, I'll let you feel comfortable out there. And, you know, I know right now if this thing goes green, my strategy, again, we go back to that pit strategy Altais did earlier. My strategy right now is going to, you know, work out. Obviously, if a caution comes up, it messes it up. But so does he want to pass him? That's the thing. If he does catch him,
you know,
tough.
At what we're seeing right now, or with what we're seeing right now, I don't think it's worth it. You know, he's got to pit. Unless he's been turning the car off in those cautions, I do not think he can make it to the end.
Oh no. They'll all have to pit again, but it's when they pit. That's if let's say Joshua pits later, and he can get a far enough. Let's say come back out and have a far enough lead. It's when he pits. What are we at? Lap 91. Here's that thing, man. Bring this up. I mean, think about it, Caleb. 2 tires. If it's a green flag stop, if let's say Sherwood pits here at lap 100, just throw some numbers out. I mean, I'm not 100% on him. Let's say he pits at lap 100. Sherwood's got to put 4 on that thing. There's no question. Altice doesn't really have to, and maybe could throw 2. If he can get down to, let's say, 15 to go, maybe 10 would be better. Anywhere between 10 and 15 to go, and come back out and, let's say, have 2-second lead, let's say. I mean, you throw that out like that, and then it's a whole different race. I know that's kind of stretching, you know, on the scenario, but it could happen. You never know. I mean, we are getting right down here to the final laps.
I do not think you'll see any of the championship 4 maybe Matt Dyer in the 28, but I do not think you'll see any of them take 2 tires, especially if their 4 tires couldn't get past Rob. But if they take 2, they could end up in front of Rob. But I
think Lane's 4 could have gotten past Rob. The problem with him was he had to battle with Altice. And see, Altice had almost equal tires than Lane, so by the time he got there, what they did tell us on that battle was how long the 4 tires stayed relevant, and it wasn't very long. We saw that.
If they're gonna pit, they gotta be pitting soon.
Yeah.
This is.
Well, you saw Jacob Grant just come in. He just came in and made his stop at lap 93. I think Sherwood probably is gonna lap 95. I'm gonna say 100. That puts him what did you say? 55 laps.
It's anywhere from 50 to 56. 60
okay, well that would put him at lap about 100 because he pitted at lap 46, so that would put him then right at 100. Joshua pitted again at 56, although he didn't take tires during that pit stop, so I'm not sure when the last time he took the tires, or if he did take them on lap 56, he just kept coming back down, topping it off. But either way, he could stretch this thing to the lap 110. If he can go to 110, I would think about 2 tires if I'm him. If the truck's not I mean, because right now you're seeing what old tires will do. I mean, so if Rob's able to stay out front, Joshua's able to stay there on what, 40, almost 50 some lap old tires, then I put 2 fresh tires on the one side. No, am I going to be the fastest on the track? Absolutely not. But you go back to that time thing again. Unless Rob is knocking seconds off, he's just going to run out of time catching back up if Joshua has a big enough lead. And I know this is all scenario stuff, but hey, we love talking.
Oh yeah, and right now, Joshua he is putting time into Rob Sherwood. He's half a second down already. He was a second a few laps ago, and they're running pretty much identical lap times now. Yep. And what we were talking about last week as well. The push, the aero push from the trucks. When he gets behind Rob, is that unsettling the truck at all?
It's not as bad at this track as at Auto Club's just tough. I don't know. Auto Club's just a terrible track, man. You see right now, I think Sherwood right here, he went that one turn there, got a little tight, went up the track, and that's where Altice making some of his time at. But this takes us back to, I was talking about time. Look at that. That's what, the 300ths difference. 300ths is not going to get you around Sherwood. You're going to stay right there at his quarter panel, his door, for laps and laps and laps. Okay. I've talked about what it takes just to blow right by a guy time-wise, and that's something that if you watch enough races, you'll see what it takes for a guy to get around. I mean, you race, you know it. So it takes me back to that. Got 20 to go, so it's lap 100. Man, Sherwood's really stretching this pit stop. That's wow.
I wonder if he's saving.
Right along on him in the Z. Let's look. Yep, he is. I just saw it. There he is. He is. He just clutched it. Can he make it? I don't think he can make it all the way. There, he just turned it off. He clutched it. He's down to 1,000 RPM. So he is clutching the turn. Going to Altice and see if he's doing the same thing.
No, I think
Altice is not. Rob.
So the fact that Rob Sherwood is doing this and still maintain, he is Can he make it?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
he pitted at lap 46. He did get a caution there. It would put him at 60-some laps. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I've been fooled many times before. Now, I will say this, even though Sherwood is up there clutching, it does look like Altice, see those RPMs in his, he could be letting off just a little bit. So you see how those RPMs drop way, way, way down? He could be letting off and saving also. Not as much, obviously, as Sherwood. But
he doesn't have 15 laps to make up as well.
Yeah, right, yeah. So that's why he's not saving as much, and that's probably why he's not gaining like we think he should be either. Let's do what Lane's doing back here. Ride with Lane just a minute. Lane's, yes. I mean, all three of them guys could be saving. I'm at some point too, here, Caleb, at some point, what's that old saying? You made your bed, you got to lay in it. At some point, Sherwood is going to have to say, okay, I made my bed. I'm going to have to see if this thing will go the entire distance. If he does push this thing to the end, that is impressive. He deserves to be the champ, and if he wins the race, obviously. Because I think what's going on now is all Tyson, Hoosler, Lane, both are hoping Rob has to pit.
Yeah, and here's Jacob trying to get his lap back. Jacob Grant in the 19.
You just let him go.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I mean, I'd say if I'm Lane, that move right there, that move almost caused an incident. Him sliding up.
Yeah, just let him go. He's on way newer tires. Way newer tires.
But see, and that's kind of where we get into that gray area, right? Like you're racing for the championship, and then you have some guy that's not, and then he could. You let him go. Oh, and he's sideways.
He's pushing the car. Grant, and this is where Altice needs to understand. All right, he's on way newer tires. He's a lot faster. Let him go. Let him go.
But see, here's the thing. He's already dropped back to 7/10 now. Josh Altice has from Rob.
At this point, Josh and Lane are hoping Rob has to pit. I'm telling you. You see right now, Josh man goes almost beside him. They're hoping Rob has to pit. Now, Rob doesn't have to pit. I'm going to say it right off the bat. If Rob, because right now Sherwood his race is over if he pits. His championship hopes are done. Okay, yeah. You see the battle back here between Lane and Josh, but his championship hopes are done if he pits. So at this point, he better hope he can make it all the way. It looks like he's going to.
The more of a gap. Lane and Josh are back there.
Oh, he loves seeing this. Yeah.
Yeah. The more of a gap in Lane and Josh. Joshua Altice and Lane Holsler need to understand this. The more they battle, the more of a gap Rob has, which gives him more room to save. They need to be on him, making him push.
Now see, there, Sherwood did the right thing. He just let Grant go. Because if he was to battle with Grant, guess what? It's going to pull him right to him. That was a smart move.
Oh, yeah, and also, if he tucks him behind Jacob, he can use Jacob's draft to pull him along, saving more fuel. And this is just into the mind of
well, we
Rob
know at
Sherwood,
this point, Sherwood is not pitting. Unless a caution flies here between towards the end. He is not pitting, because if he pits, and there you go, he's clutching again going to the turn. He's not pitting. Because if he does, guess what? Yeah, he lost a lot of time. Now's when Altice and Joshua probably need to pick it up. If they've got anything left, They need to put the pressure back on Sherwood, and they were able. Remember, they were there far back. Now they've been able to close in. This is going to be interesting, Caleb. And we're not done. We got 8 to go. We're not done. Wow. Can Rob make it all the way? Joshua or Lane have enough to get around him? I mean, this is the frustrating part here. I mean, look at that run he gets. I mean, you can see Rob go up the track. Joshua's there, and no, Grant. Oh. Now, here's where Grant, at this point, Grant needs to say, okay, these guys are battling for a championship. I'm a lap down.
Yeah.
And back off out of it. Now, this is where I will say, yes, let him go. You know, he almost wrecked right there before. Yeah, but, man, I mean, Joshua, yeah.
Oh, and there he goes.
There you go.
Oh, he's out.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And, you know, that basically was what I say. I hate to be a spinning wheel, but, man, I've seen it, and you could kind of tell the strategy there. Josh and Lane were not pushing the issue on Sherwood. They were just hoping he couldn't make it. And, I mean, give my hats off to Sherwood. That was a run, but it also brings me back to Caleb, what I've said before. I've seen him dominate races, and then it's always something happened. And I mean, even if a caution was to come out at this point, it's still not going to help Rob, because he's going to be in traffic.
Yeah, and yeah, he wouldn't even be the first car a lap down. He's got to pass Jacob here, but he didn't even take tires.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
well. What he's probably hoping is get around Jacob, get that lucky dog. Now, here we go. Does Lane got enough? As we're coming up here, man, on the final laps, does he got enough to take this thing away from Altice?
I don't know, but
remember what happened to Joshua last season?
Yeah.
Nightmares, you know. I know Joshua's probably thinking, "Oh my Lord, look at Lane come out of there sideways." You know he's pushing that truck. Yep, that might have been it right there for him.
Yeah, I think that was the championship right there.
Yeah, because it cost him. And by the time he gets back up there, I think time's just going to run out. So Altice right now is leading. Look at Jason Stewart, though, up 13 spots. He's a hard charger here tonight, sitting there in third. So having an outstanding run. Matthew Dyer trying to get in that third place, but he's right there on the outside looking in. But not a bad run for the man. Look at Nathan Brown. I got to give old Nathan Brown, man, credit, man. He has done great. Eric Anderson right there battling. That's a good battle between fifth and sixth place. We're coming around on a white flag one more time, and that's all Josh has got to do is hold that truck together. Wow. He's got one more set of corners, and he's going to be a two-time Clean Racing Truck Series champion. Yeah, he is. Man, what a season. What a wild one. You know, and Lane throws it in there, giving it everything he's got. What a race win for Josh Altus. He did say earlier that it was going to take a win to win the championship. And all four drivers were there all day. You have to feel for Rob. I gutted. And I mean, we go back to earlier on. What was the strategy? We talked about, I said earlier, Altice was playing the long game. And with that strategy, pit strategy he did early on. And it paid off. I mean, if Rob could have made it, who knows? It was a stretch. I mean, he definitely tried. He definitely got it there. I mean, can't take anything away from him. I don't know, but that's your champ. That's your winner. I mean, it's crazy what this season has come come down to guys up here.
Yeah, and
Bring Stewart up here. You want to get go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, what a race. What a season finale for season 20. So.
We'll bring Stewart up here and let's get a word with him.
No, right? Hey, Jason, you got me?
I got you.
Hey, man. So, relatively quiet night, from the 9 truck. How was it? Because you were up 13 positions from your starting position. Like, how were you feeling throughout the race? Knowing it's a championship race. Like, were you just going? How was the truck?
It wasn't that good practice-wise and that first run-wise, and then it just clicked. And I apologize for causing that caution, which probably changed things a little bit, but made it interesting. But once it clicked and I learned I had a little speed, and surprised I got the third.
Yeah, it was definitely a good run on the day. Do you have anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank Baconi Setup Shop and Checker Flag PCs. And again, I apologize for that caution. I think that's the first one I caused all year. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Can't wait to watch it tomorrow.
All right. Good job on your 3rd place finish.
Thank you.
Yo, that's like you said, man. Jason coming up. Well, I'll bring up Lane up here, man. Let's get a word with him. And he did everything he could to get that championship and win.
Hey, Lane, you got me?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, not too bad.
So, we seen it in the race. The way the tires shaped out at the end, and the way the fuel mileage race ended up. We seen you pushing real hard, try and get past Rob, and then you kind of fell back a little bit. How was the truck throughout the race? And how were you managing the long run at the end?
It would fire off a little bit loose, especially if you're running the bottom. It would get kind of snappy loose on exit, but as the run went on, it would kind of mellow out, and then there toward the end of the run, I burn off the right rear so bad, and then kind of in the middle of the run, I was trying to save a little bit of fuel because at one point I was about a lap and a half short, so I tried to save a little bit of fuel, tried to save a little bit of tire, see if I could have something for Josh at the end, because I basically just let him go because I wanted to make sure I had enough fuel to make it to the end, and then just couldn't get back by him.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting at the end, seeing how everything had shaped up. Is there anyone you want to thank?
I'd like to thank you guys for putting this on. You guys do a great job broadcasting. Say thanks to Chris for putting the league on. I know him and Fred have worked for a couple of years now on it, and they continue to do a really, really good job. We'll see what we have for the next season.
It's definitely going to be a good one, season 21. Well, congrats on your 2nd place finish and 2nd place in the championship.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. It's Lane, and you can't take anything away from him there. Lane, he's fast all season, won a lot of races, had a shot there at the end, just came a little short. This guy, though, pit strategy of the night, he had it all put together. We've seen it time and time again. Josh, you the booth, you got a copy?
10-4, boys, we got you.
Well, they can't take it away. You're the champ, man. You was able to get it done, put it in victory lane. At what point there at the end, because I mentioned it here and was talking about it, BK, was I felt like that you were basically hoping and praying that Sherwood had to pit, because it looks like y'all all were pretty even up front.
Yeah, for sure, man. Holy cow, I can't believe we did it, man. Caleb messaged me this morning, and I told him I thought it was going to take it to someone was going to have to put in victory lane to win the championship, because all these guys are so good, man. But yeah, Rob was definitely the class of the field. I think he and I ran a practice session before the real race opened, and he He was so fast, man. He had a phenomenal season. I'm very proud of him. I hate it didn't work out, but it's how it goes, man. On these one race shootouts, anything can happen, and I knew he was going to be short there if another caution didn't come out. So I was just trying to focus on keeping a gap between me and Lane as much as possible, and I would pull away from Lane, and then he would catch back up to me, and he got beside me at one point, and I thought I absolutely have to clear him here, or this is it. So I gassed it probably a little earlier than I wanted to, and just hung on for dear life and cleared him. And I ran out of fuel too. As soon as I hit 1 and 2, as soon as the checkered, I was out. So didn't have enough for the burnout, but that's all that matters, man. We parked it.
Again, coming from last season, the wild finish there for the championship on that one to this one. I know it's bittersweet, to bring home the championship. I mean, was there any part there that you thought, man, is Sherwood going to be able to save enough fuel to make this thing to the end? And I don't know what I'm doing, because you had a different pit strategy than anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, first off, last season, man, I'm gonna finally put it to bed now. I think the only thing that was gonna allow me to put it to bed was to go out and win another championship, and we just did that. So yeah, absolutely. Last season's gonna always sting. When I think about it, this could be 3 in a row, which is pretty crazy.
You put the sting on Lane this season.
Yeah,
and Rob,
there you
how's
go.
that?
There you go. Yeah, well, I don't know about that, man. They were both phenomenal. They both won 3 races this year. And to answer your question, though, I mean, I didn't think Rob was going to be able to save enough. But I wanted to manage the gap, because I didn't want him to get too far in front where he could just coast. And Rob is a phenomenal driver, and he's done crazy things before. So I knew I was going to be close, and I had probably 5 or 6 laps more than him. So I was thinking, if I was doing the math, but as we saw yesterday in real life, sometimes math doesn't always add up. So, it's never over till it's over. And even when he pitted, man, I was just waiting for the caution to come out, because you can never count these things till the checker flag falls. So just really, really happy to be able to pull this thing off and win another championship.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, man, you did that, got it in victory lane, got the championship at the Clean Racing League here tonight. You got anybody you want to thank for an awesome, phenomenal season?
Yeah, as well. As always, Joe, got to thank you, man, and OSR Network. Caleb, shout out to you, bro. Glad to see you up in the booth, and it sounds like you'll be doing some stuff next year. So always good to have you guys do the broadcast, and thank you for your time and effort. So it's much appreciated. It's going to be a really fun one to go back and watch tonight. So shout out to OSR Network. Thank you to Chris Smith and everything he does for the Clean Racing Truck Series, man. This is such a great league. I've run several different leagues, and this league really does live up to its name, man. Clean Racing. We had a couple cautions tonight, man, but everyone races hard. They race fair, and it's just a really, really good group of guys. So thank you to Chris Smith and everything that Fred started, and that Chris was able to continue on. So it's much appreciated. Big shout out to my teammates. Robert Sherwood, again, phenomenal season. I think he finished with 3 wins this year, and he was just super fast every week. So I know he's going to be disappointed tonight, but hopefully he'll be able to keep his head held high and be proud of his accomplishments once the thing kind of wears off. So shout out to Rob, man. Shout out to Zach and Matt Dyer. Matt was a great addition to our team this year, and all 4 of us found victory lane this year, so that was a lot of fun. Thank you to my wife for letting me do this, and shout out to Senvar Roofing and Solar, man. They've been on the truck all year, both of my championships now, and anyone that's interested in a roof replacement or my specialty, of course, everyone knows me as the Solar Man. So as these electric rates continue to rise, don't be afraid to reach out, and I'll walk you through how solar works and see if we can save you a lot of money. So thank you guys for a phenomenal season, and we're gonna enjoy our little break, enjoy the championship, and we'll be ready to go at it next season.
Well deserved. I tell you what, there you go. Joshua Altice, man, winner, champion here tonight. Caleb, man, what a season. What a wild one, and what a wild one here to cap it off. I mean, again, I know Rob, disappointment there, but he gave everything that a champion, should, or a guy for contending for one should. Tried to stretch it, tried to stay out, but What a great race.
Yeah, I mean it was a very phenomenal championship race, and I think the quality of the racing on the track proved why this is the Clean Racing Truck Series. Cautions happen, but the way that the championship contenders race and how close it was to the end, you gotta hate it for Rob Sherwood, but he made his bed, and he had to deal with it, and he had me fooled till he pitted. I thought he was gonna make it,
Yeah.
but sometimes we've all raced, we make decisions, and I think he was waiting for another caution, and that caution never came, because he wanted the fresh tires. But it's just the way these, like Josh said, the way these one race shootouts happen. Something happens, and now you have to wait next season and do it all over again. But like I said, phenomenal race, and congrats to all the championship 4 and Josh Altus on the championship. That's the second one.
Yes, it is. Like you just said, man. That well said. There's phenomenal season. We're gonna leave it a couple more weeks here. We'll be back season. And it started all over again, and I know, these guys are going to be thinking in the back of their mind, hey, we did it once, we can get back here again. Yeah, again, don't want to take anything away from those Final Four, Matt and Lane, Josh and Rob, and all did a fun, and everybody else on the track, too. All these guys, man, did a great job. Before myself and everyone, hope y'all enjoyed it. We're going to head out here for the Clean Racing League. Everyone, have a good night.